Ring the alarm!
Dude.
I guess everybody's awake now.
I guess so. The entire world.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what has happened?
A lot.
Whoo-wee.
There's going to be a lot to unpack today.
There is a lot to unpack here. So many things coming from so many angles. First off, rest in peace, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor,
Yep.
and George Floyd, Big Floyd. What we've been seeing is being caught on tape now. The social media, it's been going on for years, hundreds of years, from them burning black bodies and hanging them, mutilating them from the trees. I mean, I could go on and on. If you check your history, you'll know that all of these are facts. These aren't, I'm not saying these things to make anybody feel bad. I'm just saying that for the black experience, it's tiring that it's been happening for so long. And there's really never any repercussions. And black people are usually the only ones screaming all the time that this is happening, marching in the streets that this is happening.
Yep.
Doing all of this and just furious that it's happening over and over again. And they say, well, what about black on black crime? Right? That's just like a slap in the face, because it's like, you think we don't care about that too? Mm-hmm. I see marches here in your city of Richmond, California, against stuff like that. And this is one of those violent cities on earth. Mm-hmm. And there's marches against that. There's marches against that too. That's horrible. Black people don't like living next to killers.
Yep.
We want to be protected by police. We don't want to be killed by them.
There was a woman in one of the protests in the past few days. I saw a picture of her holding a sign, and the sign read, "I can't believe that I'm marching for the same thing 60 years later as I was 60 years ago."
I seen an old white couple, and it said, and they were getting in the back of a truck, and it was old, and they had a sign that said, "I can't believe we're still fighting for this shit."
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And that gives you chills. And my thing is we've always been screaming and fighting, right? And our friends who are not black, they speak up. So, you know, a lot of them speak up sometimes, but they don't really fight, right? They don't really push back against racism as much, and maybe they don't notice it. You know, sometimes it's like, you know, asking a fish if the water's wet. I mean, I don't know, they're a fish, you know. So maybe it's that. I don't know. But for some reason, this George Floyd thing flipped the switch in everybody.
Yeah.
Now, whether they want to admit that this George Floyd thing flipped the switch in them or not, it did. Mm-hmm. And it seems like for the first time that I can remember, that there's all races across the board sick of it.
Yep.
They're sick of seeing it. And it's beautiful for me to see. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
It's not just black people being brutalized by the police on camera. It's everybody right now.
Yeah.
You know, the 70-year-old man in Buffalo, that's going to be on Time Magazine or something like that one day. You know, all of this stuff being captured right now.
You're talking about when the police pushed the old man
in Buffalo, New York.
In Buffalo, New York, and the old man fell to the ground and laid there limp as blood came out of his head.
Right.
And the cops walked right past him.
Right. So you see, like, these aggressive police, and you see it looks like they want to be angry and aggressive, and you look at the news and it'll say violent protest, but really the protest is peaceful and the police are acting very aggressive.
The people are the ones that are getting hurt.
Yeah, at nighttime, you had some guys running through and doing some wild stuff at night, looting and setting fires. I'm seeing,
but the looters' eyes separate from protesters.
Absolutely, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
You got these people doing wild stuff at night, so I don't know, maybe if that's why they're calling it a violent protest. I mean, people have been getting hurt. I mean, don't get me wrong, people have been getting hurt. But most of the protests I've seen have been extremely peaceful, with aggressive police. As soon as the curfew is over, they start shooting rubber bullets and tear gas.
I have seen...
At children.
Yeah. Children are getting hurt, and I've literally seen footage of protesters after 8 o'clock where they all symbolically get on their knees and put their hands in the air like this, and fucking cops just rampage through them.
Imagine if the police force, right? Imagine, so say these shithole cops that kill people, unarmed people that aren't threats. Say these assholes get the same treatment, all of them. So say all the police, even the good ones, get the same treatment that these assholes deserve. That's the same stuff. It's like, it's people out there looting, but you can't just control it at night. Like, you can't just control the buildings. Like, you really need the army out here patrolling 17-year-olds.
See, the problem with how violent the police have been lately, there's many problems, but the ones that I think about, it's not just the fact that this is totally like making the public lose any kind of credibility or trust within the police. It's not just the fact that they are going out of their way to hurt people, right, in a lot of these instances, but the fact that they're this aggressive towards peaceful protesters says a lot to me, because of what the protesters are there for. They're there for injustice against the black community from the police. So the fact that they are so aggressive towards these protesters, and it's the fact that the police are so aggressive towards what they're there for. Right. It makes me. It was like, do you even care that
you're supposed to be to keep the peace?
Yeah, and it's almost like they're saying that, like, we don't care what the fact that you're here for the black community being oppressed against the police and everything.
I'm glad you said that. So it's so all of those years of brutality, people started, it happened with Michael Brown, right? Shot in Ferguson. They immediately tried to make him look like a criminal. Look, if the guy stole some Swishers, he need to get arrested, get a citation, and be up on his way. Pay a restitution, whatever you got to do for strong arming that. But or whatever the laws are for stealing like that.
Sure.
But that's not a death sentence.
Yeah. Right?
And that's when they started saying Black Lives Matter. That's what I can remember. That's when they started saying Black Lives Matter, right? And that became like a movement within the black community, right? And then seems like people from the white community all of a sudden took offense to that and started saying all lives matter, right? And blue lives matter, right? So,
well, all lives can't matter if black lives don't matter. That's
you try to reason with them. You try to tell them things like, what if, people say save the rainforest all the time.
Yeah.
Save the rainforest.
Yeah.
They don't say all ecosystems matter.
That's right.
Do they say all ecosystems matter though?
No, they don't.
They say, when they say save the whales? We want to save the whales. We will save the whales, man.
Right. All amphibians matter. They
don't say all marine life matters.
Right. Exactly.
Come on, man.
It's not about the other one.
It's a whole movement. Save a breast cancer movement. Breast cancer movement.
Right.
Not all diseases matter.
I understand. Yes.
Come on with these people, man.
Yeah.
So what a black person hears when somebody says that, when somebody says Black Lives Matter, and you say all lives matter or blue lives matter, you know what we hearing? When we say Black Lives Matter, you say that. What we hear is, no, they don't. These matter more.
Right.
We care about these ones more than yours.
Yeah.
Even though we grow up on your music and watch you dribble and we're so entertained by you.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll pretend like, you know what I'm saying, we don't.
Right. I have a hard time believing that there's people that are just completely oblivious to what that means when you're saying all lives matter as a rebuttal.
No, they know what it means.
They know, and case in point,
by this time they know.
Exactly. It's been long enough. The Black Lives Matter movement has been around long enough to where you know what that rebuttal means.
Right.
Now, case in point for that is that man with a bow and arrow that was shouting all lives matter and just firing arrows at protesters.
Yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah.
He went to jail.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? All lives matter, but he trying to kill black ones.
Exactly.
And I'm hearing, and I'm seeing things like the media is trying to start a race war. A race war? Who's trying to start a race war? Ain't nobody trying to start a race war but y'all.
Right.
I see all races out here fighting for injustice of black people right now. They ain't trying to start no race war. They trying to stop police brutality, and you trying to tell them that that's not cool.
So
history will be so telling. You will be lying to, you're going to have to lie to your grandchildren about where you stood.
Yeah. Right. And on top of that, right now might be the most significant point in my life in terms of me living through history. Because to me, this, out of all the years of fighting for equality, with the civil rights movements and everything throughout history, this is a huge tipping point.
Yeah. The George Floyd thing was a tipping point.
George Floyd was totally a tipping point to where 50 out of all 50 states in America have had protests.
Yep.
There are tons of protests in Canada.
In 30 countries.
30 countries. Australia, UK, France, you name it. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen anything like this, and it's a pretty amazing thing to be a part of and to see, right?
Yeah, man.
I think this is I have hope that this is going to be the turning point.
I just like that the pressure has been put on to stop slapping us in the face. Like, and I like that, and I always said, I tell my lady, I tell you, I say, hey man, it's not going to be any change until white people start jumping on board and fighting for us, with us.
Right.
Because and like out here, like seeing these white people get brutalized by the police on TV and on the internet every day. There's all these images of white people fighting for black lives right now. I'm getting it. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to white people. I got white people DMing me, asking me if I'm all right, how I'm feeling. I know it sounds corny, but I think it's cool, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a good gesture.
They're reaching out to you. Yeah.
It's not that deep with me like that. I maneuver through life a certain way, but I mean, this warms my heart. Brought me to tears a few times. You know what I mean? And I love the unity, and I love that people are jumping on board with us. So now we are a huge movement, right? A movement so strong that the NFL, the good old boys, had to. Roger Goodell had to make a statement. Sound like he was reading a hostage note. and tell me it looked sound like he read a hostage note, and had to and had Drew Brees looked like he was reading a hostage note too, and and he had to say they was wrong for silencing players for the protests, and then he had to get them tell them Black lives do matter. He had to say all of that stuff. It's like you gotta say it. You put the pressure on it, just like if you drop the F-bomb on a gay person, just like if you say something anti-Semitic. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you say something derogatory towards Asians. You know what I mean? You're usually reprimanded for that because there's a movement that says it's wrong. You usually, you know what I'm saying, somebody will say the N-word and then they gotta leave for a weekend and take sensitivity classes and then they're back at work. No repercussions. They'll lose their job. Now people are losing their jobs and their livelihood for racism. And I love it. And I love it. And it's all because the whole country said this is enough. The whole world said, America, y'all need to knock it off. And look what we have here now. So everybody got to keep moving. I just talked to the homie Thomas Pridgeon, and now he's saying the music industry need to get on their knees. For getting these kids in these bad deals. These 360 deals. Give them their masters. Give it up.
Everything is changing. Everything is changing because of this. The biggest opposition to me, besides, well, I mean, really, there's two. One are the groups of people who are showing their true colors at this point, are very openly racist and against the movement, right?
Yeah.
Two is the person that leads them, and that is the commander-in-chief, Donald Trump. He has been on the oh my God, the craziest tear.
Yeah, he's been on a tear. But beyond him, let's not get too deep into him. Okay. Let's not get too deep into him because I kind of want, if people are gonna listen to this, I kind of want them to get what's the real before we talk about people like Donald Trump and Candace Owens, right?
Oh, okay.
So I want to give people the real. Like, let's talk about the real, right? Let's not care about the theatrics. Let's not care about, you know what I'm saying, the buffoonery that is the president and the hucklebuck Negro that is Candace Owens. Let's.
But that matters though.
No, it doesn't. Stop. I'm gonna discredit them. Let me talk. Let me talk to the people.
Okay.
Let's not get too focused on that stupid shit. Right. What you got to do is you got to make sure you're registered to vote. Okay. Now you look at things like your sheriff, right? The chief of police, your judge, your congresspeople, your congressman in your district that's in Washington representing you, all your district attorney, all of those people, right? All of those people we're fighting against right now. All those people who are letting these people brutalize us, your senators, all of these people who are letting these people get away with this. Those people are up for election. You can hold them all accountable with this movement. Like, you don't have to get on Twitter. Like, you can be on Twitter and Instagram. That's cool because we got the movement going now. It's popping. Let's ride.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But you gotta mobilize it into that ballot box. Otherwise, it don't really mean nothing. You know, I had a good friend earlier DM me and was like, I know you're a Trump supporter or whatever, but this is ridiculous what's going on. How could you be a Trump? I was like, you know what? I asked her, you know what I'm saying, why would you think that? And then she's like, I don't know, you know, you like to stir the pot. It's like, nah. It's like, this was, you know, sometimes, you know how I do, you know, I guess I'll agree with something he did, or I think something was funny, right?
I think it's more of people who, if you go against,
it's that I'm not a Democrat.
That's what it is. If you're not a Democrat, then you're a Trump supporter. It's that is not the fucking case.
I'm in no way, shape, or form a Donald Trump supporter.
No.
Right? I'm just not a Democrat.
Exactly.
But, we all, we're all in the same thing together, right?
But nor are you Republican also.
No, I'm not Republican.
Exactly.
I'm not
so
Republican.
I just thought
No.
Okay.
But, I don't believe in an allegiance to a political party. Mm-hmm. But I am registered to vote, registered independent.
Yeah.
So I will be voting for whom I want to.
Right.
But I am very excited to vote in my local elections for for police chief and judges and district attorneys and all of those other fucking shitbags who like to put kids away for money.
Yep.
Yep. I hope you guys, want to vote, like you got to turn that energy into something.
Mm-hmm.
You show up in droves to vote for Barack Obama and they, I don't want to get started, but yeah, so let's vote. Let's not worry about the theatrics. The president's those old white people, that's what they are, and some old black people will go out. Definitely they're going out to vote.
Yeah.
And they'll be voting for Trump. Trump's base is gonna they're gonna be rallied. They're gonna be ready. What's funny about the right wingers is they talk. I remember when Obama was president, they were talking about man, he's totalitarian. You know what I mean? And he's like Hitler, and he's doing all of this stuff, signing all these executive orders, and he's doing all of this. He's trying to be a king. What is he doing? Right? And he just want to give people health care. This guy unleashed the National Guard on American citizens.
Yes, he did.
And all I'm hearing from them is cheers. And like, yeah, it's got to happen. It's wild out there. It's like, okay. So it's no changing them, right? They'll turn on a decorated Marine like James Mattis.
Yeah.
Right? They'll turn on him.
Mm-hmm. The most decorated
in my lifetime.
In our lifetime, yeah.
He's, come on, man.
Yeah.
He is what it is, and you got people dogging him.
Yeah, Matt has put out a statement saying that this is threatening the whole fabric that the United States has been formed on.
Yeah, he's dividing us.
Yeah. What Donald Trump is doing, because he's setting the agenda. But you are right, though, about the fact that all these politicians, commander-in-chief and on down, they all get in the position from us who vote.
Yeah.
The people still have the power in America.
You vote. You vote for that judge that can't stand the sight of you.
Right. Yeah, it all comes from...
Like that same Judge Meek Mill saw when he was a kid and got arrested. It was the same one that had a grudge on him when he was successful as an adult.
Yep.
And they kept voting him in. Or not voting.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right.
People don't want to get out there and vote, and then you could tell, and then there's so much misinformation. People on the right like to, how when somebody says, "I'm not racist. I got a black friend," or "Hey, I really like this black person. Listen, it's Candace Owens."
Right.
Mm-hmm. Candace Owens, though she says she makes some good points, right? I've heard her make some good points, but she will muddy up the waters with those good points by dogging black people and just dogging herself, and for no reason. Like, it's always like something that's very unnecessary, and it's always just like she's doing it for clout. And then go ahead.
Extremely inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. It's classless. She's scum to me. We know her history a little bit.
Yeah.
She hasn't always been this way.
We dug up dirt on her just as she tried to dig up dirt on George Floyd.
So Candace Owens, what college was that? Samford, not Stanford, but Samford. What was this? Somewhere. Mm-hmm. I should Daniel Oda look it up real quick. But she sued this place because she said some white boys was racially harassing her.
And then she got help from the NAACP.
And then she got help from the NAACP, the group that she talks so crazy about. And the NAACP gave her something to the tune of $36,000.
Mm-hmm.
So she
a lot of money.
She claimed racial harassment. Claimed some white boys was racist to her.
Mm-hmm.
She go run to the NAACP, and Candace Owens get $36,000. Now let's unpack that. Candace Owens, if you don't know, is a conservative pundit.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets her rocks off on dogging black people and basically saying black people ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It doesn't matter. All this, and digs up dirt on dead people.
Mm-hmm.
And then she acts like she's a super conservative right-wing person to cater to the right-wing person by sharing them misinformation. It annoys me because they think, oh, look at this black person, look at her, how she does it, and that's just so derogatory to herself too.
Yeah.
Because you ran to the NAACP and now you talking shit about the NAACP. She got $36,000 from an organization that helps black people.
And then goes and says that NAACP is a deplorable organization.
Right. So you got $36,000, and then she had an apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And lived in this apartment free. Or she didn't pay the rent? What was it?
No, she was rewarded 6 months of rent for free, so she didn't have to pay anything.
Oh, okay.
But it was 36. Her monthly rent was $3,600, and then upon the 6th month, when she was required to pay, she claimed that she got sick
from the mold.
From the mold that was in this $3,600 apartment, and she sued and won, so she didn't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Candace Owens.
This is Candace Owens. Also, the person that, like you were saying, was a staunch liberal at first.
You were a staunch liberal. She had a website. She was on a website. She worked for a website, a liberal website, and it went under.
It went under.
And in 2016, here comes Candace Owens.
Mm-hmm.
With a red hat.
With a red hat, conservative pundit, where everybody that tunes into Fox News just adores her and all this stuff. And,
yeah, the Fox News don't even put her on. She's not on Fox News. She's on Twitter. She has no real platform. She just talks, and sometimes a conservative show will have her on to speak for black people.
A conservative person like Glenn Beck. Now, she was recently on Glenn Beck, trying to discredit George Floyd and everything that's happening. And Guess who retweeted that interview?
Donald Trump.
He did. He retweeted that interview. No explanation. Just wanted to show that on his Twitter feed.
That's why it hurts when she does it. You know, because it's like, why would you? Why she's trying to impede progress and trying to draw a wedge, and they're helping the divide. It's like it doesn't matter about her though. It's all about showing that she's just a slime ball, because Candace Owens is a fraud, and she's going to be on the wrong side of history, because the majority of the country, all 50 states, 30 countries.
Yeah.
Come on, we taking a break. So, with that being said, got a lot off our chest. I would like to hope. I'm glad to see everybody coming together for a cause.
Absolutely.
Huge movement putting pressure on those with hateful views. And it's beautiful to see. And if it continues, I can see beautiful things happening for the country in harmonious fashion.
Yep.
You know? But it all starts at that ballot box. Right? All of these local elections. Stop worrying about Donald Trump. Right? You know you're not voting for Donald Trump. You know he's the president for at least 5 more months. So stop worrying about him and worry about all of these local elections, these public officials that you have to vote for. That you want to vote for. It could be right wing, left wing, dark wing duck. I don't know. Chicken wing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
But you gotta vote for your conscience, and if you feel this way, you gotta take that energy to the ballot box. You have to. Otherwise, it's gonna stay the same. It's gonna stay the same if you don't put the pressure on.
It does start with the people.
Yeah. People of Kentucky, this is your time to shine, Kentucky. This is your time to shine, South Carolina.
In terms of how everybody's views are, and whether you're with this incredible movement, this is going to be a snapshot and turning point in history. Well,
they call South Carolina Trump country, and the senator of South Carolina is Lindsey Graham, and he's in a tight race. He's in a tight race right now. So the people of South Carolina got to step up, and Mitch McConnell, he's in Kentucky, and he's up in a tight race.
Yeah.
He's not running away with anything right now. And neither is Lindsey Graham. So Kentucky, South Carolina, you guys got to step up, man. There's all of these places with these crappy senators and congressmen. California, you don't like Devin Nunes? You don't like him? Get him out of there. What district is Devin Nunes in out here? Got to check that out. I mean, you don't like Devin Nunes? Get him out of here. I don't like him.
Yeah, fuck him.
So y'all got some work to do. I got some work to do. I do know who I want to vote for. I mean, when we get closer to that point during the holidays, I'll start telling you guys, you know, here in the Bay Area or in the inner cities, who's up for judge and district attorney and what their backgrounds are. We'll get into that. But until then, Daniel, I appreciate you for rocking with me as always, man.
I appreciate you too.
You got anything you need to say to the people?
Well, there's many ways in which you could be showing support. One is educating. 2 is supporting black-owned businesses, donating, going to the ballot box, but just as long as we're moving in the same direction. That's what matters.
Hell yeah, man.